Most gardeners think they've done everything right. They prepare the soil, they plant at the right time, and they water regularly. Yet somehow, their eggplants stay stubbornly small, barely growing beyond a few inches before turning bitter or soft. It's frustrating, especially when neighboring plants seem to thrive. But here's the surprising truth. Size isn't just about sunlight and soil. There's something most gardeners are missing, and once they fix it, the results speak for themselves. Eggplants are notoriously picky, and unlike tomatoes or peppers, they don't forgive poor conditions easily. Many gardeners unknowingly sabotage their own harvests by repeating the same subtle mistakes. They crowd the plants too closely, they water sporadically, and they often skip crucial steps in feeding or pruning. It's not laziness, it's just that no one ever told them what eggplants really need to grow big and strong. The first issue usually starts with spacing. Eggplants love warmth and air circulation, but when they're packed too tightly, their leaves trap humidity and restrict airflow. Fungal issues creep in, and suddenly, energy that should have gone into fruit is now diverted into fighting disease. A gardener may not notice it at first, but over time, the plant weakens and underperforms. By simply increasing the space between plants, airflow improves dramatically, and the plant's vigor returns. Still, spacing alone doesn't fix the problem. Poor pollination is another hidden culprit. Eggplants produce gorgeous violet flowers. Yet without enough bees or manual help, those flowers wither without producing anything. This is especially true in urban gardens or shaded backyards. When the flowers aren't pollinated, the fruit can't grow. However, by gently shaking the flowers or using a soft brush, gardeners can simulate pollination and ensure more flowers turn into actual eggplants. Then comes the issue of water. Eggplants hate inconsistency. When one day is bone dry and the next day is flooded, the plant's roots become stressed, confused, and inefficient. Consistent, deep watering allows the plant to absorb nutrients evenly and focus on developing the fruit. But shallow watering that encourages weak roots and poor fruit development. A gardener may think they're helping by watering often, but if the roots don't go deep, the plant won't go far. Nutrient imbalance is another silent thief. Most gardeners toss in a little fertilizer early on and hope for the best. But eggplants are heavy feeders, especially once they begin flowering. They need nitrogen in the beginning, yes, but as they start producing buds, they crave phosphorus and potassium even more. Without that shift, the plant keeps growing leaves but neglects the fruit. And the result, small, stunted eggplants that look ripe but never reach their full potential. Now, here's where everything changes. Even with good spacing, steady watering, and solid feeding, some eggplants still stay disappointingly small. That's when gardeners begin to feel defeated. But the truth is, there's one more factor that flips everything: deep root feeding combined with targeted pruning. This is the trick no one talks about, but it's the fix that finally works. When nutrients are delivered deep right to the root zone, they're absorbed more efficiently. Instead of spreading fertilizer on the surface, successful gardeners dig a small trench a few inches away from the stem and bury compost or liquid feed deep into the soil. This method forces the roots to grow downward and strengthens the entire plant structure. At the same time, removing the lower leaves and any unnecessary suckers redirects energy toward fruit development rather than wasted foliage. It's not about doing more, it's about doing it smarter. After applying this method, something incredible begins to happen. Within a few weeks, the fruit begins to grow noticeably larger, the leaves look richer, and the plant stands sturdier than ever before. Gardeners who once struggled now find themselves harvesting glossy, oversized eggplants that taste better, cook better, and stir longer. The transformation is undeniable and it all began with one adjustment, but the journey doesn't stop there. To boost results even further, some gardeners layer in a few extra tactics. They apply mulch to retain moisture and regulate temperature, especially in dry, hot climates. And they choose companion plants like basil or nasturtiums that repel pests. While attracting pollinators, these little bonuses don't just support the eggplants, they create a healthier, more balanced garden overall. In the end, the gardener who struggled with tiny eggplants learned a powerful lesson. It wasn't about doing everything, it was about doing the right things at the right time. Bigger eggplants come from better strategy, not just more effort. By spacing them properly, watering deeply, feeding strategically, and pruning wisely, anyone can turn a disappointing harvest into a bountiful success. So next time your eggplants fall short, don't give up, look closer. The fix is often simpler than it seems, and once you do this, everything changes.